Local Works meeting, Tuesday, October 9th. So, call the order?
Yeah.
Everyone's here except Sue?
Yeah, Sue and everybody. And Mary Ann sent me a note saying she wouldn't be able to make it. But then she loves the logo. Then.
Good.
So we got the agenda, looks good.
Agenda looks good. Here's Sue. Yay.
So I move to adopt the agenda.
And the minutes from last meeting. Was he did that? Or was it Josh who sent that out?
Yeah.
I think we have to vote on the adoption of the agenda.
Yeah. Anyone opposed?
Yeah. No. Okay. So how about the meeting minutes?
Does anyone have any issues with the minutes?
I read the minutes, fine.
I move to accept the minutes.
I second.
No guests or public comments today? No. The logo from Ben, old business A. Looks good.
We want to look at it.
Yeah, because you had added as Kathy had requested the, I don't know what you call it, thin line or...
Yeah.
Shadow or strike. Yeah.
So yours is printed in, that's the older version.
So.
Yeah.
But it's basically the same, right?
Yeah, I just, a minor change to the width of Invest in Easthampton and
This is English.
so everyone wants to something's passed around or...
We did that last week, or last meeting.
Can I ask a question about sizes of this? I made it the size of like the logo that's on the letterhead, and I'm just wondering if we'll ever use it, because when you do that, it makes it really, really difficult to read.
Right. Because it is very text heavy for a logo.
That's true.
I was under the impression we were just using this logo for the stickers on like, so it's going to be printed about that size.
Well, it is also on the brochure.
Okay.
And that's, it may not be quite that small, but it's certainly smaller than that.
Could we have another version when we're printing it smaller without the text in the middle?
And that's what I would suggest. If you're doing like stationery or, I mean, I guess once you've instituted this as a brand, then you can probably drop the text from the smaller things. If there's any thoughts on that.
Well, we have talked about different variations of the other one for different purposes.
True.
Which different variation of which other?
Well, we talked about not necessarily being stuck to one thing in the center. When we were moving away from what Clay had originally, we were moving away from that, we decided that what we wanted to keep were the words local works and that font in the circle, and we would be more flexible with what goes inside. But I think Denise's point is fine. If we are in a really situation where you can't read it, just drop the center line.
Yeah, it's easy. It's just it's easier to drop it than it is to adjust it.
Yeah. Could put it somewhere else on the letterhead at the bottom.
Right. Yeah. I will put my neck out and make a motion for us to approve this logo as is, with the understanding that we can drop the center text when it's too small to read.
I would second that motion, yes.
So by adopting this logo, does that mean we're going to go back to the idea of printing stickers, or we
Probably. Before we do that, let's
sidetracked?
is anyone opposed?
We have our own budget.
Doesn't need ESC approval though.
No, it didn't prior.
Okay.
The logo?
So that's it for that?
So we need a vote.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Who seconded
the
it?
speed
You
bump.
seconded it, that's right.
So I added this, discussed the website after talking with Josh just briefly last week. And the website seems like it's inactive. I was suggesting that we kind of update it to a WordPress format so that things like the survey will work. We could have a plug-in. I think eventually it'd be kind of neat to have it open to the public. If you want a page, you're a local business or a local entity, you can have a page on LocalWorks with WordPress. It's easy to set up an account system where a person could come and have their own page and put links, have events.
Ever done Joomla?
I have that done Joomla, but I think the WordPress is so much more standardized. It's easier to maintain.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm unfamiliar with WordPress.
It's a content management system that's open source, and it basically gives you a framework, and then you can customize it. Let's say, for example, ECA Plus. I was talking to Burns, and theirs is a WordPress site, and they just have a custom template. Some of the graphics were integrated, so it looks nice. But it gives you the ability, if you want a Twitter feed, you just install a Twitter plugin. If you want a survey, we could just put a survey plugin in there, link it to SurveyMonkey, contact forms. It's just easy to maintain, like a blog or any type of content. You don't have to do the coding. Just work with the templating.
Let's all look at, I'm sorry, I've never seen the site, so I'm just gonna...
It seems like it's been inactive.
Yeah.
It's down, or it's just...
Well, it's up. It's just nothing much going on.
I sent an email to James Armis about it and asking if the three of us could get together to talk about getting it transferred over to us. I got a voicemail back from him while I was out of town last weekend, and he's amenable. He's happy to do that.
Is it currently a WordPress website?
No.
What is it currently?
It's a James Service website.
A June service?
James
Zarvis, it's his website.
Oh, it's his, so it's
One of
his,
his designs.
but it's not run, it's not,
It's hosted by
regardless of...
GoDaddy or something like that.
Right, but like Joomla is a templating format, and WordPress is a format, and Drupal is a format. So is it a format that Jim...
Doesn't appear to be just to be some sort of system or template that he used or a custom. It's just simple. If you go to localworks.biz.
How much control do we want over the website? If we have a WordPress, so people can put their own, no need to have approval of somebody.
You can moderate on WordPress, right?
Yeah. I mean, if it was, if each person just could, if somebody wanted to have a page, they would only be able to do anything on their own page. If there was something that was inappropriate, we could have administrators that could remove it.
Well, goes live before we have
I mean, there could be some sort of agreement, say, if you agree to have a page on here, these are the standards you must, any violation, you're removed.
Could we set it up so that it wouldn't go live until one of
You
us...
could, for approval.
What about like a thumbnail link instead of a live, I mean...
Well, whatever the details of it, I think essentially, firstly, you get it updated to like a WordPress format, and then you can take off from there, do whatever type of...
Well, I know, the reason I asked about the Joomla is because I know a local in-town person who is like the Joomla queen of the universe.
Yeah, I think that Joomla is really not good. I used to have my site on Joomla. It was a real nightmare. And just getting it into WordPress has opened up a huge, much more larger universe of plugins and simplicity.
Right, I mean, because I was building a WordPress website until she convinced me
She
to give,
convinced you.
but I'm really happy.
You're happy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really happy. It's really
How do you spell Joomla?
Joomla, and especially since they come out with Joomla 2.5. I find the administration is really quick and easy.
Yeah, I think that the WordPress is just more prevalent.
I think more people use
More
WordPress.
people use it, it's more updated more frequently, there's more plugins. It's easier to use.
Well, look at the glass panes template. That might be a nice template for a local works type project.
That's the WordPress.
Yeah, it's a WordPress template.
Do you want to be part of the well, let's get it transferred over first to us,
Right.
and then as a group we can discuss what format we want it, or what server or host we want it to be on. Okay.
Do we have, like, in the group here, anyone that's familiar with HTML or who wants to be the webmaster for the page? Is that, like, something that we can...
I have no skills whatsoever in that.
Because, I mean, I think
Yeah,
that...
I haven't worked with WordPress. I mean, I created a very remedial WordPress page and then abandoned it because I was convinced to go back to Joomla.
I mean, I think whatever we choose, I think we need to have
A web
a
guru.
webmaster who's going to maintain it and be the one who's doing all of the web presence.
I can speak to someone who does have who's a local person who does that, and I don't know what her availability is. I don't know what her comfortability is with it, but it's possible that she could just...
If we were on Joomla, could you be our webmaster?
I could do a fair amount of stuff if I worked with the same woman, because she pretty much trained me on how to install all the components in ours, or how to link all the components in our webpage. And I think our webpage looks pretty good.
If we were to do WordPress, could you be our webmaster?
Certainly, yeah.
Okay.
So I would be against the Joomla. I think anybody could administer the WordPress. It's very easy. Once it's set up.
Yeah, I mean, no, and it's fine. I'm not trying to argue.
And I don't really want to take on that as a job. I think ideally we would need to get the framework. I can maybe assist with getting it installed, but to have it nicely integrated with the graphics and stuff, it might require getting a graphics person. Talking with Burns briefly, she said I think that actually James Zarvis customized with her graphics into their WordPress site. Is that so? You know, that might be a small project that we could use some of the budget for to get it kind of tweaked up and looking decent. But once you have your framework, it's not easy. I mean, it's not difficult.
Right.
Very easy.
Right. Well, I've been in the back end of... I just haven't played with it enough, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be happy to help out with that once it's kind of established, but in terms of programming it and setting all the boxes up, I'm not really familiar with what's available in WordPress because I haven't had to do it before, but it can't be... I know it's easier, more user-friendly than Joomla.
Yeah, it is. I think it is.
No, I think you're right. I was surprised at how... I was just personally surprised at how little code you need to know to properly. But then again, with our website, we're always taking outside sources and bringing them in, so it's not a really complex process. But as long as it's not Drupal, that's a disaster.
Okay, well, so then maybe like the next step will be for us to get this thing over from James.
Mm-hmm. Or would he be somebody who would, since presumably he's managing the website and whatever server, maybe he could update it to WordPress for us.
Maybe. I'm going to pass it.
Or does the city have server space that can go on?
I mean, we have server space, I think, but that's out of my league.
I don't think the city would want to have a lot of control over that.
Well, I don't know. I know that this ECA Plus uses their own website. Local Works has been using their own website, and I imagine it's just for ease of control, less than any kind of policy against it, or I don't know. And the city webpage doesn't have a great template to put in, you know, a page for the departments and the subcommittees and things like that.
So then it's not a no then, right?
I think we want autonomy. We would want autonomy. We don't.
I think we want to be on our own website.
But are you asking, is the question, can we host our website on the city's server, or is the question, can we integrate into the city's website?
I think if we can probably host it on the city's server, but do we want to integrate it into the city's website? I don't think we can.
No, I don't think we're suggesting that. We're just asking if we can
Right.
host it on their server.
Yeah, I would think that we could, but again, that's outside of my...
But that's all updated.
That goes to Barry and Jim, because Jim created the city's website. How
Does the city
that...
have a server?
I believe I rented
We
from
don't know
somewhere.
who they use. Okay.
Whoever they use. Yeah.
I can find out, just
Okay.
just for
I mean, it's a
giggles.
small fee. It's like $20 a year, or $30 a year to pay someone to host our website. It's a small website. It's not getting a lot of traffic. People aren't downloading big files from it.
We're hoping it gets...
I think we need to use someone local, though. Yeah,
Well,
kinda.
Well, is city site not local?
But I don't know. I don't think we have the information that answer. Though we could ask Barry. He's in his office right now.
Will you take that on in asking?
Absolutely.
Barry, who's Barry?
Barry's the systems administrator for the city.
He's the IT god of Easthampton.
But not in stature.
Right.
So it seems like that's at least something we should work on.
Yeah.
Get the
Yeah. I will start by we're trying to get a meeting with you and me and James. So we can at least, we can do to get it over to our control and see, getting it into a WordPress format. Okay.
So the next item?
Survey. So the survey says, I hate that shit. It's just one of those things just stuck in your brain. I printed, I took all the changes that we had made thus far and put them into a format that didn't have all of our little edits in it, so we could read it. And then I went on from there. If I'm not mistaken, I think we got up to where we had finished the multiple choice thing of the shops that people shop at. And we said that the numbers, the EC plus questions number 1 and 3 will go in there. So I put them in there, and then I took everything else after that and just put it in, so we would have a good looking format. Do we want to continue from there? I'm hoping we don't have to go through what we've already gone through before.
It was question 2 that was incorporated into the multiple choice
Correct.
boxes. 1
Yeah.
and 3 were added at the end.
Right, at the end of the multiple choice boxes. Yeah, and I've done
Oh, that
that.
wasn't the arts and entertainment?
You did that. Well, is it in there twice then?
I don't know. It's not in your copy.
Which ones we're talking? We're talking about under the arts and entertainment?
Yeah.
What was question 2?
So those are in there.
Yep.
Yeah, you did that. But questions
Yeah,
1 and 3,
They added at the
But
end.
this one, it says multi-range, so I don't think that's it.
okay.
Questions 1 and from the last
Her
one.
first
Okay,
and third
yeah.
question that
Whatever, they're in there. It doesn't
they're in
matter.
there. Are you comfortable with their placement?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, I think the surveys could be fine-tuned, so if they get switched, if anything gets switched, I don't think that's a bad thing. But
Okay.
yes.
Do we
overall,
need,
fine.
what I'm trying to avoid is fine-tuning stuff that we've already fine-tuned. So does anyone have objections to starting after the multiple choice?
The boxes.
The boxes?
So that means we'll get into the questions.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't have any objections, but I have one comment on question 8. When you shop outside of Easthampton, what is your reason? I just thought that the other should be moved to the bottom.
Yes.
So it's consistent.
Yep, you're right.
And that, I didn't know what availability meant. And is that the same as convenience?
Availability of product.
Availability of product.
That should be written out.
So I'll say product availability.
Okay.
And then I noticed just now in question 4, we're missing the bracket 20,000 to 30,000.
Kathy told me about that, and I've added it in.
Beat you.
In 6A, are we
It's a race.
looking for both answers? Commute in
There's
miles
6 A's.
or in minutes?
Oh, in the latest one, I took that out.
What did you do?
So it's
What
gone.
is 6A? I think we took that.
This is the one-
No, there's
this is
the
what
first-
Ed just
There's the
copied.
first set of 6. Go to the front side.
Page 1.
There we have 6A, 6B, and then 6.
My numbering's off.
So there's another version past
No, I just didn't take out, I just didn't correct the number.
Yeah.
I'll correct the number.
Okay, so 6 is still 6. Now, are we changing all these
What was your
numbers?
question about miles?
Yeah.
mine. Are we looking for both answers or? How far is your commute in miles, in minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you're on, 2 miles, but you're taking public transit.
yeah. Or if you end up going through really trafficy areas. Or if I have to stop and feed the dogs on the way to the den.
So what are we hoping to gain from that answer?
To get an idea as to how difficult their commute is.
And you're gonna give me a jet to get to my house?
No, we're not gonna, no, but, if that,
Transporter.
if someone has,
Yeah.
public transportation takes a lot longer than just driving your private car.
So should we
Or
ask
taking, or riding a bike.
if they take,
It's in there.
That's it.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's at the bottom of
We
6B.
If we don't need the commute in minutes or miles,
I think we should leave it for now.
okay.
I would answer it in minutes, because I wouldn't know exactly what the miles are, so. I thought it was an or, but I don't think it really matters.
Not an or. It could be
I would
whoever,
leave it blank.
what they choose. Okay.
So you guys have went through the list already last week.
We got so far.
We got up to the end of the multiple choice, up to the boxes. Right.
So you went through all of the list, and
Does it, no one else?
One L.
Okay. And does it have a apostrophe? Walgreens?
I don't know, but I know it doesn't have two L's.
Okay. I just go with whoever put it in.
take a look at, so without going through each item, going down, just the categories must have, would like, and different. In question 10. Did we cover that?
Well, yeah, I took one out that was, I think, never, because if it's never, you just don't check it off. Or if you don't want it, you wouldn't check it off. It's like the Department of Redundancy Department.
So you got rid of the would want some of them? Category.
I got rid of the very last one that said never.
There was must have, would like, indifferent, and then no.
No, yeah, I got rid of no. Because I figured if it's no, you just don't check it off. Remember, we want to keep this simple so people fill it out.
I guess there's a difference of, it feels like must have, would like, indifferent feels incomplete for, like,
Are you worried about the word itself, indifferent? As in,
He wants the last category there, the no.
well,
But if they say no, we're not going to take all the coffee shops out of Easthampton, or the diners. See,
No, I mean, we're
that's
not-
the reason I took that off, is because that column didn't seem to make sense in here. Because if someone felt that we didn't need any ethnic restaurants in Easthampton, that's not really
yeah, but
beneficial
what if
knowledge
people
to us.
don't want a Walmart? There's no Walmart in Easthampton, and without a category of no, it just gets skipped and it's not an answer.
So, okay, so see, indicate what you would like to see more of in Easthampton.
Okay.
And I'm trying
the
to
Walmart question is, how many times is, it's a different question.
Yeah, and for that, Satan would just put a zero there.
Okay. No, I'm just,
This is
I'm
based
just
on-
stating it, that I think we should have another category or so, just to rate the, so we were able to see
To quantify it?
yeah, that if you're selecting it, there's a difference in selecting no versus leaving it blank. And that it gives us more data without really complicating anything. But,
All right, but
I mean, we can, I'm just stating that, and then we can
Well, then
fine,
should
that's fine.
should we rephrase this beginning of the question then? So it says, tell us what you want more of. And to say, tell us how you feel the importance of each of these things is in Easthampton. Or, I mean, we're kind of recreating things now from,
Right.
we're going way backwards.
I know. I didn't want to go through each category, each thing. I just wanted to put the categories because I missed that. If the committee's decided we're moved on, then we're moving on, and that's fine.
We're all part of this committee, and if you've got a
Yeah.
very valid point.
But I mean, I wasn't here in the
That's
committee.
fine.
But actually, the committee did not,
You can actually comment on
the committee did not, that was my editorial, creative editorial.
So you want a don't want,
So,
you want a don't want
yeah.
category.
What do other people think? I mean, we can add it in.
I think it could possibly be valid information for a city official to know that 80% of the people that did this survey don't want to see
A cell phone
more
store.
ice cream shops, or, yeah, a cell phone store, or whatever. I mean, that could be good for all sorts of things.
So must have, would like, don't want, indifferent.
Okay. So I can add in I don't want,
Yeah.
in between would like and indifferent.
Yeah.
I would actually do it after the indifferent, so it goes in.
I would agree with
Indifferent is the middle, like you don't care either way.
But indifferent, I guess, isn't going to give you a lot of data. I think it's an assertion. I don't really care where you put it, though, honestly. I'm not
Well, here's the question then, do we need indifferent? If they're indifferent and they don't have an opinion about it, I mean, I don't think we're going to have people that are going to fill out every single box or every single line. So I think when they don't fill something out, that very well could indicate that they're indifferent. So
But
what-
it's like the whole dangling chat and the, you know, like when you're filling out a survey, when you're voting or whatever, like how do you interpret the presence of a non-answer?
I interpret that as a non-opinion.
What about changing it to rate the following on a scale of 1 to 5? 1 must have, 5 do not want, and then they have to do each one.
5 could be indifferent then.
You could total it up.
That would be easier.
I mean, that's what I thought.
No,
That's
one would
what
be-
this question was sort of structured after.
Right,
The
like,
1 would be no, 10 would be must have, and the middle would be indifferent.
5 works well.
Yeah,
10 gets
okay.
too many gradations, but without being overly.
most survey monkeys are around 5. You know. Always, sometimes.
Never.
Very satisfied,
Yeah.
satisfied, slightly dissatisfied.
But that might give us more information at the end. We could total up and say, how many total points did X category get?
Okay, change that aside. So 1 to 5 is,
So we're not going to say what you would like more of. And see, that was the original intent of this, is tell us what you want to see more of in Easthampton.
But we're
Now-
still doing that, it's
yeah,
just,
you're doing that.
It's just we're asking the question in a slightly different way.
Well, but so, see, if it's more of, see, if I really like the fact that we have diners in Easthampton, I'm going to put it a 5. But I don't necessarily think we need more of them. And I certainly don't think we need more nail shops.
But if you look
Although my
at,
wife would want me to, kind of.
but if you look at movie theaters, or no, we do have a movie theater. Cell phone stores. Is there a cell phone store in here in Easthampton? Can we have more of a cell phone store if we don't?
Yeah,
have
it's on the line, but it's in Easthampton, the Eisen store. Yeah.
Maybe it's the way you specify the numbers that say if it's 5 indicates must have additional, 4 equals very happy with this.
That's a good way, okay. So 5 meaning love it and want more.
Need more.
Okay.
I think that makes sense. I can see your point.
Love it, want more.
0 equals do not want,
4 is must
want
have.
to get rid of the existing one.
3 is would like.
Or just
2 is
0 is don't.
indifferent.
Do not want.
Do not want.
And what?
Isn't it usually 1 through 5 though? We don't need to use 0.
Yeah, it's usually 1 to 5, with 3 being indifferent, and 1 and 2,
Okay.
1 and 2, and 4 and 5 being the extremes going away from it.
Okay.
So it gives people the ability to sort of do subtle gradations.
This will make things much easier.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will make that change.
So then we want to change the question from indicate what you'd like to see more of in Easthampton to rate each.
Indicate how you feel about these following types of businesses.
Yeah, just
Right.
how about like, how would you rate the following types of businesses in Easthampton?
But that's not what you're looking at.
No, it's like rate.
Well, it is. We're asking them to rate them in terms of how much you want them or want to see more of. I mean, it's a rating, right?
Yeah, it's how much you want. Something might read rating as,
Rate the
Maybe it's,
existing.
would you like
Right.
to see the following uses expanded in Easthampton? 5 indicates, yeah, like a lot. 0's 1 is. Does that make sense? No.
I'm not sure.
Indicate the type of business growth you would like to see in Easthampton in the following categories.
There you go. Because then that gets back to what we originally want more of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, can you say that again?
Indicate the type of business growth you would like to see in Easthampton. Indicate the type, indicate the,
Well, I wonder if the word business growth, people are going to be like, yeah, I want to see more biotechs. You know,
there's not that talks about industry there, but I know we're talking more of the retail end.
but really what we're saying is like, as a consumer, what would you like for more options to spend your money on in Easthampton?
Or is it retail growth?
Well, I mean, if somebody really has a hot burning desire for biotech, they can use it in the other fields.
That's
I
right.
mean, I think it's fairly self-explanatory. In terms of taking a survey, I mean, you know what you're looking for based on what your options are to rate. I mean, it's not, you're not being asked to comment on gun control, obviously, you know.
indicate how you would like to see the following businesses grow in Easthampton.
Yeah. Or shrink.
I like
that's
see,
explanatory.
that's why I like what you had before, because then you don't have to say or shrink.
You don't have to say or shrink, because the scale says it.
Right.
Okay.
Say that again?
What did I say?
Indicate how you
Indicate
like.
how you would like to see the following businesses grow in Easthampton.
Expand.
Expand.
Yeah.
Grow.
Grow is fine. Would like to see we're keeping it like following businesses grow in Easthampton.
Business types.
Type, yeah.
Okay. Types of businesses.
Yeah. And then have the 5 categories.
Yeah. Okay. So does that give, will we say 1 as I don't want it in Easthampton? Or I don't need any more of? 3 would be I don't need any more of, probably.
Right.
Okay.
Reason different / I don't.
Maybe.
Well, the difference, like, I don't care if it gets more or less. It's not something I use.
Yeah.
Whereas 1's like, there's already too many liquor stores. They're on every corner. We don't need any more liquor stores.
Don't want more in town. Okay. 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 That's good.
Great. Thank you.
So thank you for bringing that up.
Do we want an other in every category? or just an other at the end? Does it make more sense while people are thinking about services?
Sure.
I think just at the end. I mean,
What if I have 5 others?
then you can use the allotted time, space, or you can make a note. Is there a section that we can include notes?
Yeah, the very end, but I think,
What you're saying makes sense. though.
yeah,
Okay.
I think an other in each category would, while you're thinking about food and beverage, you're like, oh, they missed this really cool thing that I just found out about.
Or I might say, like, I just ran movie rental stores. Someone just told me that we need to get more of those red box movie rental things. So I would write that in under there, instead of saying a movie rental store.
Redbox.
That thing is, you go there and it's like 5 deep. At 7-Eleven.
Are the movies any good?
Yeah.
All the new stuff.
It's all new stuff.
You can't get old classics.
But you have to have a certain amount of volume. You have to be able to guarantee a certain amount of volume in order for them to place them.
But like Big E's?
Yeah, I mean, it's really more up to Redbox
I'm
than
just
it
thinking,
is.
some of our businesses might say, ooh, consumers want that, we should look into that.
Yeah.
So it might be something they'd look a little more closely.
Do you want to add that as an actual, well, we have movie
I don't
rental.
think it's really a store. It's not a standalone business. It's not something that.
Correct.
That's true, and they can add it.
It's like adding an
I would add
ATM.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Now, what about the stores themselves?
11.
Question 11.
Okay.
Is it too complicated with all those? Never 1 or 2 times a week?
Co-op agriculture.
Wait,
I thought that was a CSA on the original one.
it was. What's the difference? I tried to
Say
make it
you
look.
buy a share into a co-op is generally something that's group owned.
You can't buy share into a co-op.
No, you can. Like River Valley Market's a co-op.
That's a
Yeah.
co-op.
It's a store that.
I remember it, yeah.
And then the CSA is like if you have like
Okay.
the
Mountain View Farm.
Yeah, Mountain View Farm, and you go
Okay.
to. So
I'll change
CSA
that.
is a little bit more direct with.
I'll change that back to
But there's no
CSA.
ownership. You just buy a share. You don't have an own. A co-op.
Right.
Maybe just say
Implied that there's
CSA / farm share.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's good.
Say
Farm
farm
share is.
Oh, that's what the farm share.
They don't
you
know
can
what
say
it's CSA.
CSA/farm share.
What about farm stand / farm share?
Well, farm stand is much different.
Farm stand, you could just go up to and buy from once.
No, I understand, but I guess I don't see a huge difference in terms of, farmer's market and farm stand it's the same end result.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, market and stand is the same.
That's true. Okay, so, farmers,
No,
No,
I see a
no, it
difference.
isn't.
I see a
No, I
difference.
see farmer's market as different. I see farmer's market as being what's in the backyard here
Right.
every Friday afternoon.
yeah.
Right, and the stand is someplace you can go on Saturday
Yeah, going up
afternoon.
and
No,
down.
stand is permanent. It's like you see a lot of
Any
these.
day of the week.
You see a lot of these in Hadley as you're driving around. They have like the farm with the stand on the road.
Yeah, no, I understand. I just think it's the same sort of category.
Well,
Also, if you're going to include, a farmer's market, I guess you could go to different towns' farmer's markets, but like a farm share is once a week. You don't have an option. You buy into a farm share, you get it once a week. It's not, so
well, but you don't have to go on a specific day for a farm share.
Some farm shares.
you don't go twice a week, is what I'm saying. So we've
I
already
think-
answered that
I
question.
think it's good to have all 3 there. Farm shares and CSA.
I think for the people who know what it is will get good data, and the people who don't, they're just going to skip it. They never do it, and they won't be. And they'll. I don't know the difference. I never shop there. Blah blah blah.
Can we talk about the categories at the top, though? That seemed awkward to me. This is a lot of reading for them to do. Is there a way we could do it with the number way, the way we did the previous section?
So,
Or just make it times per
That
month?
doesn't give you frequency,
Yeah, this is
Well,
not,
okay, how about just do it times per month, though? Because if it's 1 or 2 times a week, then it's going to be 4 or 8 times a month.
the way I created these categories, I tried to put the numbers so that way they wouldn't really do, like 1 or 2 times a week. If you were going 2 times a week, that'd be 8, you'd be at 5 to 10 per month. But if you're going once a week, you're in the 1 to 4 per month.
Right, okay, so then let's just not do the week then. We'll do 1 to 4 times a month. Never 1 to 4 times a month, 5 to 10 times a month, or more than 10 times a month. Does anyone have a problem if we take out the
no,
2
yeah,
weekly
you
ones?
can't have weeks and months in the same.
So then do we want to put more gradations for, and say 1 or 2 times per month, 3 to 6 times a month, 8, like do we want to have
Make it
breaking
more
up?
complicated?
Or you want to just, yeah, I see what you mean, but one or the other has got to be.
You pick
Okay.
one time standard and then you go.
So let's
according to
take out
that.
the weeks.
Okay. But then should we still have 5 categories?
Yeah, that's fine.
So
No, I think we could have 4 categories. Have never, 1 to 4 times a month, and that is about once a week, less than once a week. 5 to 10 times a month and more than 10. Or you can do 5 to 15 and then more than 15.
I don't think you need 15.
No, okay. So why don't we just take the way this is and just take out the 2 weekly columns?
Go 1 to 2 times a month, 3 to 5, 5 to 10, plus.
Fine with me. Is that fine with you?
Well, I guess I'm just trying, if I'm someone who goes, let's say I go to the farmer's market twice a week, somehow. So that's going to be, I'm going to do the math, and I'm going to say there's 4 weeks a month, so that's 8 times.
Twice a week.
Twice a week is 8 times per month, once a week is 4 times per month. Less than once. So I think our categories should represent like what it is if someone orders once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week.
I
Right?
mean, what is it that you just want to know how you're trying to track people's patterns? So either, I mean, people usually go to places once a week, once every other week, or once a month, or every so often. I mean, that's usually like a pattern of consumption. You know, I mean, I go to Whole Foods, not if I can help it, but if I do it, it's pretty infrequently. I go to Trader Joe's once a month. I go to my local grocery store once a week. You know, I mean, it seems like what we're asking people to do is to kind of rate what they're frequently purchasing. These are specific kinds of purchases. These are subsistence-based purchases, and then there's the downtown Northampton Holyoke Mall. I mean, if you need Q-tips, you're going to go buy Q-tips, right? And you're going to go to one of these places. If you need lettuce, you're going to get lettuce all the time.
Ladies, if we only have 4 or 5 categories to break it down, how much like what do we want do we want to know whether someone shops once a month or twice a month, or is it more important to know if they're shopping 1 to 4 times a month or 5 to 8 times a month?
I don't know.
Like,
I mean,
how
I
much
just think,
specificity do we need here?
I think we just want to know where they're going.
And roughly how often?
Roughly.
I think we have too many options.
Right now?
Yeah, we're making it too complicated.
so why don't we do like, why don't we do more than weekly, weekly, monthly?
What was your first one? Your first one was once a week, once every other week.
Right,
Once a
weekly, bi-weekly, monthly.
So it's once a week is 4 times a month.
Right, but when, I guess I'm saying, like, if someone sends me a survey and asks me to take 15 to 20 minutes out of my life to fill it out, and they ask me in this way, and then make me do math on top of it, now I'm irritated and I'm throwing it away.
You're right.
I'm just saying.
I like that, weekly.
Your first one made a lot of sense to me.
So
That's
once a
how I would
week.
think about it.
Once a week, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, You could do like, I would do monthly, bi-weekly, weekly, more than once a week. So you're saying like, oh, I only go to Walgreens once a month, or I never go to Walgreens.
Okay.
You know,
So never monthly, bi-weekly, weekly.
and
Are people going to know that bi-weekly,
Well, say every
bi-weekly
other
is
week.
not...
You just say
every other week?
every other.
okay. I mean, I think
Once a
people
month,
are going to know what
once
bi-weekly
every other
is, but I don't
week.
really care.
Some people would say every 2 weeks if it's bi-weekly.
Right, but almost everybody's paid bi-weekly now, so we all know what it means.
Oh, then what's twice a week then?
But that's not bi-weekly, that's more than once a
Well,
week.
what's that called though?
I don't know.
Well, there's a difference between biennial and
Everyone
biannual.
does know that also.
Right. There's a difference between biennial and biannual. One means every 6 months,
Right.
one means every 2 years. So,
So never weekly,
no, never once a month, once a week, once a month, once every other week, once a week, more than once a week.
Right, so you're going largest
a month.
to smallest, I understand.
And the notifiers are more than once a week.
Right. Or twice a month. Once a month, twice a month, once a week. How's that? Or more.
I think more than once a week should be its own category.
Yeah, that's what I mean, more.
Why don't we hash this out over the email so we can move on to the rest of the agenda?
We're not supposed to.
We're not supposed to do that?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, which means we're not going to get to that.
Well, I mean, because we read that Google Doc thing, and we agree that this has to be tweaked a bit, rather than trying to...
Okay.
Okay.
So we can't make any decisions.
No.
No, but I think we can make suggestions online, and we don't have to vote or ratify anything.
We're close on
right?
this one.
We're close to this whole survey being done.
We're still good on time.
Good. We just iron this one thing out
Yeah.
before we leave it.
Yeah.
Never,
I'm sorry,
once
I
a
have
month,
to go, but-
twice a month,
I mean,
once a week or more.
I am on the agenda, but I can never stay later than 3:45, unfortunately. And,
First next.
What if we looked at something like daily,
The end of
weekly, monthly,
four, so-
bi-monthly, annually? I mean,
yeah, this
it
is
seems like we should have
These two are
consistency in some of our
Yes.
answers throughout the survey.
no, they're not related.
It seems like we're asking all different,
Wait, well, we're asking different things.
But that's also a survey thing. I mean, we're not doing it intentionally.
I'm just worried about the length of this. And one of my questions I want to ask is, are we printing this? 'Cause
No.
this,
Well, it
I
depends.
didn't think so. I thought we had decided that we were just doing web versions.
all right, because this says mail it to the address listed at the end.
We can change that.
That's a brief synopsis.
Yeah, it's just that, so this is a complete break with the agenda, but I think that we had introduced last time the concept of Channel 5 would like to use airtime to promote local businesses in some non-advertising way as public service announcements. So, and obviously this is going to take a lot more discussion than I have time right now to do. I have an 8-year-old that I have to get to school, and that's a half an hour away. So, think about it. You know, I'm also, as a representative of Easthampton Community Access Television, I'm also talking to municipal organizations and other nonprofits in sort of a way. I mean, our goal is to get people in using the station. So if that means we have to facilitate community on whatever level, then, you know, that's what it means, as long as it stays within our guidelines, and it's okay. I'd like to discuss it further, but unfortunately I can't today.
Okay.
So maybe in 2 weeks, when the survey is done. And also the local fair, which is like my little baby project that makes me very happy to think about. So we'll get to it.
Maybe we can put it first next time.
Good
That would be-
idea.
Yeah, that would be great. Okay, wait.
Can I just, as a point of order?
Yes.
I guess not a point of order. We had discussed a while back, we'd made like goals for the committee
Yeah.
about what we were doing and when we were doing it. And not to be, like, we can't talk about anything else that we haven't discussed, but we had prioritized the survey and the logo and the website, right?
Yeah.
So I think we really should finish the survey.
That's true. I think
Before we start
it's going on too long. It seems like we're almost there.
I think your ideas are great. and it-
Yeah, I think you will finish the survey probably by the end of today.
Oh, no way.
We're not.
Are you serious?
You're very optimistic.
But also, maybe it just might be a note that it is good to sort of, it seems like maybe we need to do a thorough reading of the survey before we get to the meeting, and that will help propel that forward.
Well,
or
try to send it
to
out.
each other. Yeah, I mean, I just caught the one thing, so now and I thought that was really super awesome, but
Okay.
now I failed.
It might make sense to like send it to a little test group, see what we get for answers and see what the answers tell us, to see if we're really getting information that we're looking for that's going to be useful
Okay.
when we're done.
When you're done, yeah.
After we do this, I was going to bring it, after we went through it as a group one time, I was going to have Jessica take a look at it.
I think that's a good idea. That's what we have a planning department for, they know this stuff.
And then the planning department will, I'll look at it again with Jessica, and then we'll bring it back to the committee to take a look at.
I'm fine with that. It just scares me. Some of these questions are worded kind of,
So like, I don't think
just
we'll
want to
get
make sure they're
to,
going to provide value.
hopefully we're not going to just put it up there without,
What I have here for those categories are road, our shop roads is never, once a month, twice a month, once a week, or more often.
Very good.
Okay, we fine with that?
Say it again.
Never,
Never.
once a month, twice a month, once a week, or more.
did you say twice a week?
Never,
No, yeah, I heard that.
once a month,
Yes, he did.
twice a month,
Twice a month,
once a week,
once a week
or more.
or more.
Do we really need to know between whether or not it's twice a week or more than twice a week?
I know, I thought you had said twice a week.
No. Okay, done. Do we still have time to move on for one
Yes.
more question? Okay, are we fine with the content, or changing the co-op agriculture back to CSA farm share? I'm going to double check the spelling of Walgreens.
No, definitely will not.
Yeah.
Okay, but does it have an apostrophe? I'll check.
And then we have Northampton.
Holyoke Mall, downtown Northampton, other. Okay.
I think it captures every
Great.
major
Next.
and minor.
We're not missing any, we have convenience centers in there.
What a Hadley Mall.
How about a mall?
Well,
Hadley/Holyoke Mall.
No.
Two
No.
different directions.
I know, but they're both,
Do we care?
for me, they're equidistant. pretty much. Do we care?
I would just. Do we care whether or not they're at the Holyoke Mall or the Hadley Mall?
I don't.
It's not like we can drag them into it. I mean,
Well, I mean, are there different? Can we look at what's at the Holyoke Mall versus what's at the Hadley Mall?
We can, but it's not going to really do us benefit in terms of Easthampton. Right now, the Holyoke Mall has more class than the Hadley Mall. But in terms of Easthampton, if it's a mall and it's not Easthampton, I don't see what the big difference is.
Okay.
So take out Holyoke.
So we just say
Mall.
Holyoke/Hadley Mall.
Yeah. I
Or
think.
Holyoke or Hadley Mall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We don't have, okay, we have Walmart in here. Do we want to just say Walmart/Target then?
No,
No.
because I have very real reasons for shopping at
Okay.
Target and not at Walmart.
Or how about, I mean, we don't have in here other big
you
chains.
said that.
Oh,
Right.
that's fine. That's me.
We have other chains too that we don't mention specifically.
Who would you think about? That's lovely.
Home Depot, Lowe's type thing, or is that like,
That's true.
how much do we want to,
I don't know. Walmart does kind of,
Oh, you're right, because we have hardware stores that would encompass in town, and like lumber companies that would encompass the
that's a good point.
Home Depot, Lowe's, and we also have appliance stores in town, and people go to those to buy appliances. I know what you mean, though, then, you know, you put in Sears, you put in this, you put in that, I mean, how much,
I don't know.
I mean, how much do we want to, I don't know.
Walmart does kind of,
I mean, how much do we want to encompass
Yeah.
The home improvement stores don't necessarily just mean that.
I mean, we could just say, we could change it to big box stores. I mean, most people who are shopping at Home Depot, unless you're a contractor, you're probably not going very frequently. Once a month.
Well, but it's still
Or
valuable knowledge
what's
to
the
know.
difference if you go once a year? It's not never, but it's not once a month.
It's more often. Oh, no.
So do we have the less than once, never,
How
less
about-
than once a month?
How about once a month or less? And then that will, they can still do that instead of the never.
Yeah.
Okay. I see your point, though, about saying specific store names. If we are going to say specific store names, we probably ought to include Home Depot, Lowe's, I'll just give you a gazillion, Bed Bath & Beyond.
Sears.
But if we say big box stores, people who want to say something specifically about a specific one mention no names. Or we could put that in other. They could put that in other. Maybe we should say big box stores so that we don't.
This question started off as a grocery question,
Yeah.
and now it's kind of morphed into a larger thing. What do we want to know? Can we start there? What do we want to know with this question? Do we want to know how much time people are spending in Easthampton versus outside of it?
If that is the case, then you believe it.
There's hundreds of stores.
I agree.
If we just want to get a general idea of how often people are shopping for specific things, then we could give, our Easthampton's example of that store, like Manchester's,
Yeah.
and then say, underneath it, other large.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, so then like a Manchester and Flores, Tesco's and Sears, Lowe's.
Well, no, but I think what you were saying is
More
the
general.
things that are local we'll name. The things that are not local, we would give the category.
Right.
Like brand name hardware store, brand name furniture store. And not say Walmart's, not say Home Depot, not say Target. But do say Manchester, do say Aubuchon, do say Big Y, Big E, Pure
What about,
Foods.
Pure Foods considered local?
Yeah.
It's actually on the line in Southampton.
They're in Southampton, but I think for our
I think that
purposes, they're local.
That one thing at the end of Route 10, the little corner of Southampton, we could annex.
I think they're local enough, because the Big Y is technically
I think they're
Southampton too.
Annex all of Southampton.
Yeah.
Easthampton needs buildable land.
Okay. I will do a mock-up of those changes, as well as the other changes. Can I send it to you and have you put it, or I can put it up on Google Docs, right?
Yeah, except now that this is different than what's up there,
It would be
we
different.
have to go back and
It would be different.
re-update the,
No, it would be different. I don't want to change that. So
you just want to make a new Google document?
a new Google Doc, yeah, and call it version 2 or something like that. Okay, but now I can share.
You can do that. I mean,
I will do that.
I don't know whatever happened to your access if you got in on.
I did, yep,
So,
I did with the second address.
yeah, so maybe you want to make sure that you get Denise's second address in the first time.
What is it?
It was hamptonwholesale@gmail.
AMPTONWHOLESALE at Gmail. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I'll do that. Fearless Lady, you want to close?
So it looks like we're running out of time. What about the rest of these? You go over that next time, or our questions?
It was for.
Yeah, I think we'll have to.
All right. So that's it.
We want,
The original format of this question was under one question, and now it's being broken up like this. I think it takes an awful lot of space.
Too much, yeah.
Which-
I will try to, the art question, so I will try to fine tune that and bring it down under,
Just to be consistent, I think we have art. The way this one was written.
okay. Because it's what, it was all under one
I
thing,
know,
so it makes sense.
Do you want to get that to me, and then
I will try to consolidate that again, and
before I put it up, and then we'll put it all together.
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Next meeting,
That's it. Today is the 9th, the 14th would be the 23rd.
23rd?
Is that correct? Is that correct, Eric?
yes, Tuesday the 20th.
I think number 24 is a really important question too, if we could think of more events to add in there.
Like, how do you define that? Like, does the Rag Shag Parade,
Yes, I think that's the
Fishing Derby, or?
Yes, yeah, I think
Okay.
things like that, that, you know, really give Easthampton its character.
Yeah, that was the,
Right.
let's make this one just on the way up, like, oh, there's a lot of things to do in Easthampton.
Yeah. But does it make sense to have it be a yes or no question? We could just say, by the way, these things are things you should
No, we
know.
want to know who's going.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. So I'm adding Rag Shack and Fishing Derby.
I'm thinking, how far do we go? I mean, there's like open skating at Williston.
Why don't we just get some ideas from everybody, and then we'll decide where,
And actually,
how far we're going.
These things,
I was
the
trying to
things that
put
we
things
have
in
written
that were
down.
recurring.
Okay.
Those were things that in my head, very limited knowledge of what actually happens in Easthampton, was that these things recur. You know, for the summer concert series, it's every week all summer.
Yeah.
But like the Rag Shag Parade's a once a year
It's a special event.
special event that sort of,
Along with the Fishing Derby.
you know,
Yeah, that's a good point, because we're looking more for consistent items that keep people in town.
right.
However, I also think it's important, if they don't know about these one-time events, then it tells us we have to do a better job marketing it.
How long has the Rag Shag been going on?
Oh, geez, I don't know, that's not a Parks and Rec thing, it's 15 years.
I think it's worth giving it a shout out.
Sure.
Need a motion to adjourn, I guess.
That's it.
Second.
And we're done.
And someone needs to